congrats on 100 games for the Kings, man. He's been a huge part of this club for many years now.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Sydney and the Snakes, Friday night hoops in Sydney. Cairns, they've been plucky this season at 2-1, but they are missing Tajir McCall, their main man, their distributor, their point guard. So they'll have to do it without McCall this evening. And the Kings, they are rolling 3-0. They've looked like the best team in basketball for sure. Let's have a look at a same game multi. I think the Kings, they'll win big, particularly without McCall. Cooks is a leading scorer in the league. And Keanu Pinder, he got on the glass. He got some junk time scoring last week. Take him for the under. Enjoy the game and gamble responsibly.
You know the score. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
Transition and the finish. The finishing touches. That's good.
That's helpful.
Yes.
My eyes are lighting up.
Got it away to the basket. How's that for a start?
That's clinical. Oh, look at this.
They are a team on a mission.
Oh, here we go.
Hello and welcome to Kudos Bank Arena here in Sydney for the first of our Friday night doubleheader. The Kings have picked up where they left off last season, winning their opening 3 games. And tonight they play host to the Cairns Taipans, who are without one of their star players in Tajir McCall. I'm Jo Healy alongside former Kings captain Brad Rosen for this one. Brad, great to be here with you. What are you expecting tonight?
Oh, Joe, look, it's a bumper crowd. I'm really looking forward to it. The Kings, obviously, on top of the ladder, playing really well. Cairns took a little bump in the road last week against Perth, but this should be a good one.
Yeah, can't wait to get into it. We've got to talk about Xavier Cooks, though. Enough can't be said for the way that he is hooping at the moment. What have you liked about the way that he's gone about it this season?
Well, I guess the question is, what haven't I liked? He's been outstanding this year. I thought he was great last year, but he's taken it to another level this year. We saw there just under 24 points. He's been able to do things. The best thing about Xavier is you don't have to run plays for him. He's one of those players that just goes and gets what he needs, and he's just a coach's dream.
We obviously saw that incredible dunk last week against Melbourne. Here it is. He said he's watched it about 100 times, not surprising. But for me, it's the way that he's able to shoot the 3-ball this season that's really elevated his game.
Well, he's watched it about 100 less than me, so that was great. But you're so right. Look at that. Just over 23 points a game, the rebounds, the percentage that he's shooting from. And like you said, with the three-point line, that's the next level that he has to get to the NBA. He's worked hard in the off-season, and you can see that because he's shooting so well.
He's been absolutely cooking. Another player that has been in incredible form as well is Derek Walton Jr. Is there potential, though, that they are going to take MVP points off of each other?
Yeah, what a luxury to have. But you're so right. I mean, they're playing so well, both of them. I mean, this man here, he's taken over from Jalen Adams, and tell me when you lose an MVP import and potentially argue that you've got yourself a better player. He is unbelievable and so much fun to watch.
We've got to ask you about the Taipans as well. As you mentioned, they're coming off that tough loss to the Wildcats. Keanu Pinder, he's leading the league in rebounds. How important is he tonight?
Oh, he's huge, and I love the fact that he's a guy that came from Adelaide, took his chances last year, then went to the Boomers and now gone to another level. He has been so good. Look at that. He didn't have that in his game, that left-handedness. He gets the ball off the glass, he runs the floor, he rebounds. He is huge for them tonight.
No Tajir McCall. He's out for a few weeks with a partial tear in his right hip, so we hope to see him back out on court. For the Taipans, though, who needs to step up in his absence?
Shannon Short, that's the man. He's got to be able to get some minutes here and be able to put the ball in the hole, because that's the thing. The Kings are scoring and scoring in bunches. Cairns, they need to put the ball in the hole, and that man there, averaging just over 15 points a game, he needs a big one.
Well, we cannot wait for this one. 8,000 expected here at Kudos Bank Arena. We'll bring in our commentators now, Jack Heverin, Leonard Copeland and Andrew Gaze. Gents.
Thank you very much, Joe and Brad, and good evening, everyone. Great to have your company Friday night at Kudos Bank Arena, and this is going to be another opportunity for the Sydney Kings to flex their muscles early, and for the Taipans their chance to hit back after a disappointing loss. Andrew Gaze joins us for the first time this season, just wanders into Friday night.
It's about time.
Drew, champion starting 5. Get to work.
Thank you very much, and I like this. And as Brad alluded to, after you saw the superstars that they lost from this team, they've replaced them magnificently. Simons, in particular, doesn't get a lot of the kudos, but he's shooting at above 60% from the field. We've spoken of Xavier Cooks. Walton looks like a star in the making. Vasiljevic, he is a gun, not shooting the ball well. Small sample size, only those 3 games, but when he gets cooking, they're only going to get better. So this is a really balanced team that is going to be all the Cairns Taipans can handle.
Champion starting 5 for the Taipans. Leonard Copeland, good evening to you. Shannon Scott starting for the first time.
He's stepping in. I like this guy. Now, Tajir McCall is a very good player, but this guy's a little bit more stable for me. He gets the job done. Hogue shoots the ball well. Pender's on the glass and scoring. If Bull Quall can get himself going, they give themselves a chance.
The Kings have been red hot to start NBL23. 3 wins, 0 losses, and putting bulk points on the board.
And what they do is they defend the paint. They're giving up some threes, but they defend the paint magnificently. And only giving up 16 points in points from the 2-pointers. That is extraordinary.
Home game number 500 tonight for the Sydney Kings as an organisation. 331 of those at the Entertainment Centre. 135 tonight at Kudos Bank Arena and 33 in Homebush. Still to come tonight, the Perth Wildcats take on Melbourne United at RAC Arena.
Something on the screen there. Get that bug off the screen.
It was a human head. Suarez, top of the key. Vasiljevic. Wow. Early 3 is short.
Like I said, he's only shooting at 31% from the field overall, but his 3-point field goal percentage is good at 41. So he's
got the green light.
He's knocking him down from the 3-point line, but when he gets in the paint, he's been struggling a little bit with plays on the rim.
Here's Xavier Cooks getting to work straight away. That is going to be a tough challenge for Sam Wardenberg tonight.
Tough challenge for anyone in the competition.
Been an electric start to the season for him. The leading scorer in the competition. Top 6 for rebounds. He's been everywhere.
Not from here, though.
Well,
that's when you're looking for a glitch.
Yeah, everyone has a glitch, Gaze, but let me tell you something. I spoke about this guy last year. I got no credit for speaking about him. I talked about how good he was. No one wanted to listen. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking about MVP. Maybe he can be on the Olympic team. Let me tell you something. A gun.
I think he's gone under the radar, Coach. Maybe not like you.
Well, you weren't as up about him being on the Olympic team. Let's just talk about that real quick.
Hasn't taken you too long to get settled. Wardenberg steps out of bounds.
Shane somewhere pulling his hair up.
That's right. But that really, when you think of only 16 made baskets in the 2-point range per game, that is just elite defense that they've been able to do in the way in which they've been able to protect the paint.
Scoring 99 points a game and conceding 86. Cooks backing in, blocked by Hogue. Second effort, and
they've gone to him twice in 2 plays. So it looks like they're going to pick on Wardenberg.
Wardenberg hurts them the other way.
And that's what when you look at their season so far, that's defensively where the priority is taking away that penetration. And those, you need to make those shots if you're going to be competitive against the Sydney Kings.
Offensive foul on Vasiljevic. So just to back that up, Drew, what you were saying about protecting the paint. Here's the Amy replay. They're giving up a league-high 13.5 3 balls. Three makes a game, I should say.
And it's what you're prepared to live with. And so far, with a 3-0 start, no reason why they're going to reevaluate. It depends on who you're playing, of course.
Pinder steps out. That's a part of his game that's grown.
He just looks so much more comfortable now this year than he did the last couple of years.
Coach, I don't 2 years ago, after that season in Adelaide, I wasn't sure anyone was going to pick him up.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
And now you look at him, and he's one of the elite players in the competition.
He's leading the league in rebounds, right?
That's right.
Simon out for Vasiljevic. Deep on the three. Offensive rebound gives Walton Jr. his first look, and that's long as well.
Is that like 5 or 6 threes in a row from both teams? They're putting them up on. Jeez.
Ooh, Shannon Scott baseline. Nice take. Blocked over the back by Suarez. This time Pinder putting the ball on the floor. Suarez did enough defensively. Kings early in the shot clock. One end to the other.
Wow, that's nice.
It's real nice, and getting rewarded the way in which they can transition from the D to the O. It's been a highlight.
Just starting to find his role in this Sydney team. There's the knockdown from Shannon Scott. You can hear Adam Ford in the effects mic all over his team early. They're 3 of 3 from outside coast.
Right. This is going to be a 3-point contest here. Forget about putting it inside. Let's see who can make the most threes.
I think everyone has forgotten about putting it inside. Pinder underneath, blocked. Suarez again. Walton for Vasiljevic. What a pass!
And that'll help Vasiljevic as well. DJ's missed his first couple, like I said, not shooting the ball well. That's when you love to get those little cheapies just to see the scoreboard ticking over for yourself. Ooh.
Scott can't finish. Kings drag that lead back. It was as much as 4 early for Cairns.
Coming up.
Vasiljevic guarded by Hogue. It's a little fall away, looked nice, didn't drop.
He's trying to shoot his way, score his way back into some sort of shooting form. Being very aggressive on the offensive end.
Nice pass inside. Buchwald, and Waterberg goes up strong.
Cairns look good, man.
They take the lead back by 1. Early stages at Kudos Bank Arena. Pinder drags in his 3rd rebound already. Leading the competition in that stat. Hogue, drop off for Pinder, excellent.
Right place, right time. And that's the thing about Pinder, and it's in the DNA. His dad was incredibly elite with what he did on the glass, and there's certain things that you can't teach when it comes to rebound.
Qual looks up. Pinder from outside. Can't make this second. 3 of 4 to start the game from deep, the Taipans. Walton Jr., classy.
He's so smart.
Well, he is, and he never seems to force things. We saw in that first game against Illawarra, when the game is on the line, he can step up to those big moments. But even in that blowout, he wasn't like he was chasing his own points. He's prepared to spread it around, find the open man.
Nice work by Scott to knock it out of play, and then end up into the stands at the Q.
It is good hustle on the bench ends.
Been coming off the bench in their first 3 games of the season. Starts tonight. Let's get courtside to Brad Rosen.
Yeah, very interesting to watch the substitution tonight. It's actually the first time in Chase Buford's era that he's actually been able to pick from his full squad. He's had injuries every single game. So now it begs the questions, how does he get everyone these minutes? They're so talented. You've got Jordan Hunter, you've got Bales, you've got Glover, all these boys coming back. So we will watch to see tonight how he gets these boys in.
Well, it's a good point. And down the other end, you look at the Cairns Taipans, primarily just using 7 guys, and one of those guys isn't here tonight.
Jim McCall, yeah.
So it's, I know I'd prefer to be, when you're thinking of the options, Copes, I think we would prefer to be on the one when there's that very short rotation.
100%, bro.
It sounds a lot like the teams you two played in. You were 2 of the 5 that were getting the minutes. You just about name the others. Walton Jr. got everyone up in the air and then blocked. And a late foul called, and he'll be on the free throw line.
Doesn't like it. I actually think he's got a reasonable complaint. He's straight up, isn't he? Straight up. I think he gets all ball, and it was Walton coming into him, so he goes straight up. Tough one. Hits the ball, all ball. I think he's got a reasonable complaint. I can understand why it's called, but...
As good as Sydney were last week, and they belted Melbourne United, they won by 20, but that lead was plus 30 for a lot of the game copes. Derek Walton Jr. only needed for 5 points in that win.
And, you know, he's not one of those guards that has to score. I mean, his job is to run a team. And the fact that he's so smart, he gets guys involved, and that's what I love about him. If you need him to score, he can score. If you need the assist, he can get you the assist.
That was after having 21 and 8 the Friday before against Brisbane. Foul on Kawat Noi, playing his first game against his former team. Spent 3 years at the Taipans. 4 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Both teams getting their shots up.
Not again.
Second time, Sam Wardenberg steps out of bounds.
Well, it is, and that happens when you're just trying to get that extra step of pace. You step back a little bit and try to...
Well, step in the court, Daisy.
Well, I'm sure that's what he was liking to do, or wanting to do, but a couple of times now.
It's funny. Last time you were coaching in this venue. If one of your players did that, you'd lose hair.
I concede it's a little easier sitting here.
Kings by 1. Suarez drew some contact.
And what a different look Suarez brings when you compare to what they had last season in a superstar in Jarrell Martin. And before the start of the season, I thought the Sydney Kings, they were definitely one of the favourites, but I was uncertain about how they'd replace someone like Ian Clark and obviously Jalen Adams and Jarrell Martin. But it's a different look, but this is where Coach Buford has really done a great job of finding the right formula to fit in with the new talent.
Let's take a look at the start to this game as a timeout's called with 3.5 remaining. High scoring and free flowing.
Absolutely. That's how Sydney play. They want to get up and down. They got a great crowd, 8,000 strong, and a lot of three-pointers. Both teams getting it up.
Well, they are. The Kings have had 11 field goal attempts, 5 of them coming from the three-point line. Only made the 1, but it's been the really good shooting from the three-point line. 3 of 6 for the Taipans. It's getting it done, and I think that's going to be a key for the Taipans, particularly against Sydney, who we've mentioned doing such a great job of protecting the paint.
This Chase Buford gave Sydney their first title since 2004-05 last year. Last season, I should say.
And what a season it was. It was one that when you think back to the start of it, the first few weeks, and how they had to dig themselves out of a hole, and yes, they had some hard luck stories with some injuries early on, but they took a whooping. Remember last season when they came to Melbourne, and it might have been Fitty, but they eventually worked it out.
Well, we've got a coach's challenge here, Gazy, by the way, on this call on Sam Wardenberg.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
he's got a case. He's just standing there.
He did get a little hit from Suarez.
So a reminder, here are some of the angles that the replay centre are seeing, which you're seeing at home.
Well, what did they call him for? Was it a hands foul? If it was a hands foul, there's no hand, unless they're calling him. The original foul was a pushing, so he just gets up and in.
Not sure that's a foul, is it?
No, I think
a foul on Suarez for the elbow.
Very strong. That's right. High elbow right back here. That left one came through and just gave him a little clip. Yeah, I don't know what he did wrong. I think he had a very strong chance of winning this one.
Scott Becker, Nathan Durant, Ryan Jones, our officials tonight.
They don't call it though, do they? It's the review centre that make the call.
Coach's challenge is successful. The foul is reversed. Sydney keep the ball with 15 on the shot clock.
Well done. Well done.
Common sense.
Common sense.
King's ball, you heard the explanation. Cairns have been able to slow Sydney down a little bit here, Copes. Sydney, the #1 first quarter team in the competition. They're putting 25 on average on the board in opening quarters.
And a lot of that's because they're making shots. Cairns have come down and knocked down a couple of threes. They're running the floor. They're on the glass. They share the ball. I mean, and I said that before, I like the way Scott runs his team.
Well, even more to Jack's point as well, they do well in the first. I think, if my memory serves me correctly, I think they do even better in the last.
They do. 27 in fourth quarters. Who says you're losing your memory?
That's trouble, isn't it?
Ho got away with it. Walton Jr. surveys the floor.
Great pass.
Great pick and roll for Noy and tough finish.
Just great pass.
It is.
Noy's been tough this year as well. Played well last week.
And that's the thing, when you get a hard show on those on-ball screens, if you don't have ball pressure and you can distribute it that easy, it makes it really hard, and that pick and roll is going to be effective. Just need a little bit more ball pressure if you're going to show.
Or someone to tag that guy who's rolling.
Or the just give it a better chance for the rotation to get there.
Sydney's biggest lead in the game so far. Cooks, his pass knocked out. Scott saw a part to the basket, misses the layup. Did everything except finish.
He might have been challenging. Oh no, they changed it.
Give it up for both of them, Wally Bales and Angus Glover.
Here's that last play, Copes.
Penny was just a bit late getting over on that rotation.
Here's Ben Air inbounding the ball for Cairns. On a full contract this season. Bull Qual drives and draws a foul.
So he's a strong guard. He's a big guard. You know, he shoots the ball well, but whenever he's driving that ball to the basket, he uses that body well to get there.
Sean Bruce gets called for the foul. He's playing his 100th game for the Sydney Kings. Jack, he's obviously been at a number of different organisations, but 100 with the Kings is a nice little milestone for him this evening.
He started as a Taipan too.
Yes, indeed. He was with Adelaide for a little while.
It was good Friday night.
I think he spent some time in Brisbane as well.
It's been everywhere, man. This is the second. There he is, 25th Sydney King player to reach the milestone of 100 games with the club.
Oh,
Cooks, look out!
Are you kidding me?
Well, they bite on the handoff, the little handoff there.
And that's where you need communication. You have to talk.
This take from Air.
He's tough. He's aggressive.
Brings it back to 2. Good ball pressure up the floor from Jono Antonio. The Kings don't have it all their own way right now. That's better ball movement, and there's the knockdown.
And that's what happens when you swing that ball. They got shooters on the outside who can knock them down. And I'm willing to bet you DJ's going to take the next shot.
21-16 at Kudos Bank Arena. Friday night doubleheader, and it's a big one too. Perth and Melbourne still to come at RAC Arena.
It's going to be a beauty, you would think. A lot at stake in there, you see. Just not sure what the rules were on those dribble handoffs. And
they're not sure, they better find out.
Well, that's right. DJ knocking down that 3. When he's wide open, his feet are set. Very efficient from the 3-point line.
Free throws to come here for Pinder.
Kings foul, it's on number 1, Jordan Hopkins first. If you're looking
Guys, I want to go back to what you were saying before about Keanu Pinder 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
There was no roster spot for him at Adelaide. Adam Ford's known Keanu a long time, so took a chance with him. But what is it that's changed? Is it confidence? Is it?
I think it's a combination of things. Certainly confidence and a role. When he was playing with Adelaide, some of his decision-making was horrific. But he gets in a situation where he's getting more consistent minutes.
Well, he's a generous man too.
Giving out burgers to everyone. But that helps when you're playing more consistent minutes and a coach is prepared to let you play through some fouls. Now, excuse me, some errors. Then you're not thinking the game so much and you build up that confidence.
Big offensive rebound by Vasiljevic.
Great move by Vasiljevic. But Pinder's just playing smarter, man. I mean, and that confidence is sky high. He's leading the league in rebounds. He hustles. He does all the right stuff. Like that.
Right place at the right time.
Extended pressure here from the Taipans. Sydney just finding that a little difficult. Jonah Antonio stays down.
Did I say he was going to take that next one?
Glover blocks. Cleaned up by Hunter.
Well, Jonah Antonio just checking his dental issues.
He's meant to be a three-point specialist.
There's a beautiful shooter of the ball. Haven't seen a lot of him so far.
No.
Kings will be over the limit.
Gets called for the foul, just trying to get over the top of that screen. And didn't go high enough. Have a look here, Pinder. I think Pinder sold it well. That's what happened in the backcourt. Nothing malicious at all about that. But when you're not having everyone up, so Jordan Hunter's man's way back, and therefore he's not communicating. You're thinking you're not aware of the screen coming, and gets ran straight into the defense. You know who set the game? We're going a bit old school here with me and Coach, but the best at setting those backcourt screens was the great Warwick Giddey.
Absolutely.
He would.
He'd take you out, wouldn't he?
He just loved it.
He'd tell you, bring him to me, bring him to me.
And I'm like, okay.
If you wanted a shot, you got Warwick Giddey to set you a screen.
And the Kings with the last say of the first quarter. Bales got it away. No good. They've led at quarter time every game so far in NBL 23, and that trend continues. They're up 25-19. You're watching Friday Night Hoops and the Hungry Jacks NBL. Quarter time at Kudos Bank Arena, the Sydney Kings hosting the Cairns Taipans, and they lead 25-19. They are the highest scoring team in the competition. They are the best first quarter team in the competition, and that trend continues tonight. Andrew Gaze and Leonard Copeland in commentary. The Kings didn't have it all their way in that first term, but when they did, they looked very sharp.
Well, they did, and fortunately for Cairns, they were able to knock down some three balls because they didn't really have the solutions on the defensive end. And the Kings have been efficient in the first three games, and they're right up bang on 50%, which is their average for the season from the field.
He's the leading scorer in the game. Pinder has 8, now he has 10. Wow. His hands from Ben Amp making life difficult for Bales. His first game of the season. Spots up and misses. Pinder rushed the floor. Happy to take it at Cooks. Lost the handle though. Vasiljevic got it.
He's found that eye. He's found that eye.
He's already whacked up 8 field goal attempts. He hasn't been shy out there, but after a slow start, he's up to 50%, 4 of 8.
He's got 10. Let's get courtside to Joe Healy.
Yeah, guys, Chase Buford will be happy with that. I was listening in at quarter time. He was happy with the way that they ended that first quarter and pushed away a little. He wants his guys hustling in defence, getting stops, playing fast basketball like they are here. You can expect to see more of that from Sydney.
Nice finish from Glover. Thank you, Joe. Tempers flaring and a technical foul on the Cairns Taipans bench, and in particular Adam Ford.
No, he was searching for that one. You heard him really disappointed about the contact that previous possession, and you heard him in the background, and he was testing the limit of the officials, and he found it. He found the limit.
Well, he was questioning this call, Coach, whether there was a foul. Did you see anything there?
No, I don't think it was.
It was pretty clean. Sometimes, though, when you're on the road, you want to get that technical foul early just to let the referees know you're involved in the game. You know, well, you got to nothing personal.
No, but you do have to be a little cautious now because one more and it's Tara and he's watching and listening to us in the locker room. Now, as much as he'd appreciate that, I'm pretty sure he'd prefer to be out there with the crew. So he's burnt that one early, and it's only the one free throw, so it's not a huge penalty in isolation, and maybe it does send a bit of a message. That one there looked like, didn't seem like there was a whole lot of contact. Keanu Pindo looked a little out of control.
Free throws, or free throw, I should say, for Sydney. Here's Brad Rosen, courtside.
Yeah, I'm listening to you guys in the commentary there, and you're exactly right. Fordy absolutely wanted that tech foul. He walked into the middle of the court and yelled at him. I then heard his timeout then, and he said, I will wear that, guys. I wanted it. Let's lift. Let's get going.
There you go.
I've been right all night.
You've been hanging out with Corey.
Hey, man. Just calm down.
Self-promotion.
Calm down.
Jeez.
You're going to break that arm patting yourself on the back.
Calm down, fellas.
It's out to 10. Game high lead. Adam Ford can sense that there's trouble brewing. Pinder blocked. Swing ball is good.
I'd love to see Majuk Dean get going. He had a pretty good game that first game, but he's been pretty quiet the last couple of games. Minutes down.
Vasiljevic. And Glover. Shot clock at 5. Cook's having to get creative, and he's blocked by Pinder. A win at the other end for the Taipans. And there's Deng. That's going to count.
Both teams providing a lot of feedback to the officials as the game's rolling on, and sometimes it can be a bit. See, that's all clean. And that's a foul.
Scored their last 5 points, Majuk Deng. Back to a more manageable 5-point deficit. Hogue, Scott, Deng, Pinder and Qual on the floor for the Taipans. Simon, Hunter, Bruce.
Oh, that's great defense.
Cooks and Walton Jr. Taipans 3-on-2 up ahead, and Majuk Deng helps himself to 7 points in this second quarter.
Here we go. Here we go.
Now it's Chase Buford's turn to have a chat about things. The Taipans are back in the hunt.
Well, they are, and Coach mentioned it. The defense get a couple of interceptions, get things going the other way, and pick up some cheap baskets around the rim. And easier said than done. A good couple of minutes from the Taipans.
They trailed by 10 less than 90 seconds ago. And Majuk Deng's been the spark for them. And now it's back to a three-point game. And we've spoken a lot tonight about Keanu Pinder. In fact, we've spoken a lot all season, Copes, that he's continued on the momentum that he built from last season. Here's the breakdown of his 3 years here in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
And that's amazing. How do you go from 5 points to 17 points? You've doubled your rebounds. You've tripled your assists. We're looking at an MVP candidate here, bro.
Well, you might be stretching it just ever so
right,
slightly. But you're right, he's certainly been an impact player, and I think it comes with minutes as well. You go back to that Adelaide season, his minutes were nowhere near what he's been doing in the role that he was asked to play. There's nowhere near what it is here with the Cairns Taipans.
Your point's a really good one. I've heard Pete Hawley talk about this in the coverage too, that he's allowed to make mistakes.
Correct. And you've got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
And if you're not prepared to do that, then he's not your guy. But with what we've seen, it's worked his way in. You saw what he did with, albeit in minimal minutes, what he did with the Australian team over the winter in some of those qualifying games. And he's versatile. He's an athlete. Hey, he played at went to Arizona. He played at high levels, at the collegiate level. And when you rebound like him and has an instinct for the game with those athletic tools that he's got, he's got some assets that don't come by easy.
Ambitious lob from Cooks. Scott's got runners up ahead. DJ Hogue, beautiful spin. We've got a 1 point game.
Oh, offensive foul.
Purple 7.
Well, you mentioned the technical foul. I don't know whether that was the catalyst for this, but since then they've gone a 9-0 run. This is just silly. Bruce, there, you just can't walk up to a guy and push him out the way. I don't know how you
Mate, it's
get
his
away with
100th game. You know, give him a break.
100 for Sydney.
Taipans now playing to take the lead. A reminder, they were 10 down a little over 2 minutes ago. Qual out for Shannon Scott, wide open. No good, he's 1 of 6 in this game tonight.
Nice pass.
Walton Jr. for Simon, who we haven't seen a lot of so far. He loses the handle. Hogue.
Got it.
Oh, short. Simon has to go and get it, and did well. Kept it alive for Walton, and he threw it away.
Geordie Hunter sends Simon on a mission here. He's able to come up with it.
That reminds you of anything, Gaze?
Just a little sloppy. What are you talking about?
Standing at half court waiting on the ball.
It's a good play, Coach.
It's a great play. I know you love it. Of course you would love it.
When you can read the defense and you know how to leak out and pick up those cheapies.
Absolutely.
As long as it doesn't cost your teammate on the defense.
Don't worry. We covered you. Don't you worry, pal.
Sydney have had 11 turnovers in less than a half of basketball.
And that's Cairns. That's Kansas defense. Up and in, deflections.
That's the pace at which Sydney's trying to play as well.
Great pass.
No good from Qual. Kings just struggling to find some fluency offensively, which is not something we've said about them this year so far.
Jeez.
Hands number 1.
Hunter was mugged.
Baseline.
Foul on Hogue.
Out of position, tries to reach from behind, gambles, and can get away with it. Geordie has a spell.
Sits down. Tim Suarez checks back into the game. 5 points in the opening quarter.
And Jason's telling the guys to just calm down and play through it. Leave the referees alone and concentrate on what your job is. Sometimes easier said than done.
Cairns pick up another foul, and that is going to put them in a precarious situation with a lot of time still left in this second quarter. With thanks to Latrobe Financial, great mates of ours here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, you have got the chance to be $50,000 richer, Drewy.
Nice.
Guaranteed cash that. Details are on your screen.
Who are the, well, it looks like we got Werther, we got, is that Homicide in the front? Those little
Who else would that be?
I'm not sure.
And until then, time out on the floor. Cairns 30.
Someone's up. Did you catch the third one?
No,
Gibbo.
Who was it? Oh, it was a Gibbo, was it? Right.
Coach's challenge.
What are we doing, mate? Yeah. What are we doing?
The bench just told me.
Okay, no. Sorry, Adam, sorry, mate. So you just called a normal timeout?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not signal.
I'll worry about that.
You guys having a rough night, man. Like,
Adam.
You got the out of bounds call wrong.
Adam.
Okay.
Yeah, I think,
Adam, just calm down, pal. Just calm down.
now, yeah, I think he went a little too far. You've got to
A little.
because I think there's just times.
The referee's being nice, too. He's being nice. He just said, Adam,
Yeah.
can I ask you a question, please?
There's no problem.
No problem. Everything's fine.
We're cool. But I think it's just a little another opportunity to perhaps suggest to the officials that he doesn't believe things are going the way he would like.
You're such a diplomat, Andrew. You really are.
You know what, though? Being in that head coaching position drives you crazy. Ask me, I know.
Just confirmation that was a normal timeout.
And what was confusing a little bit is 40 looked like he had the standing timeout where he didn't have the teams sitting down, so there was assumption that perhaps there might have been a challenge, but that wasn't the case.
Anyway, back to the game. Cairns have done a great job staying in this game. Down 10, Jack?
Down 10, early stages in this quarter, Copes.
It's a 9-0 run now.
Here they are. And foul will be called on Shannon Scott. It's their fourth of the quarter, Cairns. One more, and Sydney will be shooting free throws. Bolton Jr. 4 points, only 2 field goal attempts. That's 3 fouls on the floor in a minute.
And as we mentioned, their rotation throughout the start of the season has been very short and further compromised with McCall not available. And they're starting to rack them up now. And for the rest of this quarter, Sydney Kings are going to be shooting free throws.
Tim Suarez I was just about to say, hasn't missed from the free throw line this year.
Got you.
Well, they haven't. They're ninth in free throw shooting in the small sample size of only the 3 games, but only shooting at 62% as a team.
They won last Friday against Brisbane, but it was a factor for them in that game. Tate scores. Scores locked away at 32. DJ Hogue starting to work his way into the game. Quiet noise short. Bruce hustles after it. That's better offense from Sydney.
It's off the O boards, they're coming out, and that's sometimes a little bit more difficult to defend, but that was a little too easy.
Pinder out of the game at the moment. He's Cairns' leading scorer with 10. And Wardenberg will get himself on the free throw line.
Cairns just looks so much better. We spoke at the beginning of the game about taking care of the ball. I think last time we saw these guys, they had 46 turnovers with them playing against Southeast Melbourne, which is way too many.
So then on the Amy replay, Sam Wardenberg, 23 years of age. It's his first professional contract. Former teammate of DJ Vasiljevic at the University of Miami for 3 years.
And that's a huge program to come from. You're playing at the highest level of collegiate basketball in the ACC. So you're playing all the big-time schools, the North Carolinas, the Dukes, North Carolina State, Virginia. I mean, it is a uber elite conference, and coming into an environment like this, you're well prepared if you've gone through that type of conference and been able to make a contribution at that level.
That'll be his third foul. That's the only problem that he has to deal with at the moment. Let's take from Kawhi Noy. Not sure he's as keen on the foul call.
No, you wouldn't be, would you?
A reminder, a doubleheader. Friday night action here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Perth and Melbourne still to come tonight. And we'll also see both of these teams in action again this weekend. Sydney will travel to Brisbane for the Bullets' first home game of the season on Sunday. And then we won't see the Taipans again until Thursday when they play Melbourne United at John Cain Arena.
Early days for Brisbane, but starting is, you don't want to go 0-4, starts to get away from you.
What do you think their problem is there?
I think they're just still finding their way, incorporating their new players and trying to figure out the roles.
O-board from Hope. Relocates for three. Wow, that's what he can do.
I love him. That's fantastic.
It's a good-looking stroke, isn't it?
It is.
When he gets his feet set.
They'll get the ball back, the Taipans. Turnover number 12 for Sydney.
And we've still got a fair chunk of time, just over 3.5 minutes to go in this one. There's that three. That is a good-looking stroke.
He's open again. That one's short. Walton Jr. whistled for an offensive foul.
You know who I'm missing is Marco. Marco hasn't touched the floor, has he?
Hasn't all season, only been averaging 4 minutes a game, and just used sparingly. And in that time, unlike what we've come to see from Marco, hasn't been able to get too many up, which is usually his go. He's usually pretty good at letting it fly.
Pinder told to go to work by his coach, and he does exactly that.
Well, Simon came down and just took a swipe at it. I think he's almost at the point now when you look at what Pinder's doing, up to 12 points in this one, you've got to start thinking about maybe sending a double team, get it out of his hands in that low block, or at the very least half running him down low.
He is the game's leading scorer right now. Vasiljevic into the lane.
He's doing it all. Rebounds, blocks, scoring.
Wow. Hogue from deep. Not that time. Kings a little flat right now. Simon trying to make something happen. Nice drive.
Well, Simon's one, when you look at this game, thinking what he's been doing on the season, he's been really strong. When you look at his numbers, 64%, averaging 15 points, but he's one where it's in this one here, it hasn't been coming to him. And here he's just trying to create something. They run their 5-out action, they swing it and get it to him. It's be patient, but certainly can't forget about him, because he's been and is going to be important for what they do.
Averaging 15 points a game to start the season, Justin Simon.
He's only had one field goal attempt.
He's actually knocking down some of those shots that he was afraid to take a couple of years ago. He was playing in the water.
Brings it back to 3.
Was that last year? 2 years ago.
He was in Germany last year.
And it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, baseline through a bullet. A little too hot for Shannon Scott, but he's able to go back and get it. Hogue late in the clock.
Tell you what, he ain't shy. I mean, he had to shoot that one, but he is not shy.
A man of your own heart.
100%. Get it up.
Suarez bodies in on Pinder, and Pinder's been called for the foul.
Well, I think it was the hands that brought him undone. There's a hint here of an offensive foul, like just drives it. Now, to me, now he gets caught with the hands in, but keep those hands up. The defense got to have some opportunity, and you've got Suarez just dropping the shoulder into him twice. And if he had kept his hands out, there was a strong argument to say that that's an offensive foul.
You're getting a better than fair shake. One shot. I got you.
What a
Love the sounds
conversation's going on, isn't there? 11-9 is the foul count in favour. Well,
pretty even there.
Cairns have got the 11. Sydney Kings got the 9.
Taipans 2-1 to start the season. The Kings undefeated at 3-0. Majuk Deng on the offensive glass, couldn't put it back in. Vasiljevic puts the ball on the floor. Deng got a piece of it. There's the follow-up from Simon.
The one thing Cairns are doing is slowing Sydney down. Sydney can't get out and run.
Well, it is, and it's a lot of it in this quarter has been all off the dribble. There's been not a lot of movement on the offensive end, not a lot of cutting. 5-out spread, penetrate and kick.
Walton Jr. showing all of his talent, but
it's another example of it. It's just a nothing play, just an individual action, and that becomes a lot easier to defend.
10-second differential between the game and shot clock. Kings should get the last say of the half. Air, deep 3. That's no good either. The Kings on the march. He saw the handoff coming. Shannon Scott thought that maybe Sydney last to touch that one.
Sydney will have a chat about it and try and draw up something for the last possession. You can't carry him over, so if you've got one, you might as well go ahead and use it, try and draw something up. In these circumstances, a lot of the times, now it's hard when you've got a good 3-point shooting team, but a lot of times you might just want to go look at, Cairns may want to look at a zone defense here to deal with some of the screening action. But Keanu Pinder, he has been really good, very active, all over the floor, 5 of 10 from the field. He's got those 12 points, and that's a part of his game that a couple of seasons ago you're holding your breath and you're saying, well, I'm not so sure that that's a great shot, but he's worked on it around the rim. The pick and roll, he can work really well, and sometimes you just got to be in the right place at the right time and the ball finds you. When you're working hard, it's remarkable if you work hard how lucky you can get. And certainly with Keanu Pinder, you see what he does on the defensive end. And wow, coach, look at the crops.
I remember those a long time ago, but I do remember them.
Nice.
You're able to stand in the mirror and just play with your hair. It's been a while, Jack. It's been a while, son.
Hey, I feel you. I feel you.
Just blowing in the wind.
3.1 seconds. Walton Jr. to inbound. Vasiljevic catch and shoot. That's not the one they were looking for.
don't even think he looked at the ring on that one.
The Kings lead at halftime, but it is a 1-point game. No score in that second quarter from Xavier Cooks or Derek Walton Jr. The Taipans have done a good job of taking things away from the Kings. Joe and Brad will pull it all apart next. In the halftime show, it's the Kings who lead by 1.
This is the great thing about Cairns, everyone's bought in. So the guys that we're bringing in, you've got to commit. And as much as we commit to you, you've got to give back to the program. And what helps that, right, is when Bull Cole wins Rookie of the Year, he comes back.
Bull Cole says, I'll finish the 3.
And when Keanu Pinder wins Most Improved Player.
Oh, beautiful pass.
Sensational for Pinder.
And comes back. So now Sam Wardenberg, as we're doing our character checks and references on him as a character and a human being, he's doing the same for us.
Wardenberg, a 3, knocks down the triple.
The factor is not just what we do on court, but we're teaching these young adults to eat correctly. So we've got a full-time nutritionist that's available to us. It's about getting your body right in the gym. I hate using little catch terms like this holistic approach, but the reality is it is. And I thrive in that environment myself because it's fun. You got guys that have ambition. You got guys that want to play hard. Taj recently just had his birthday and the NBA dream is still alive in his late 20s. Great.
Great pass, great finish to Keanu Pinder.
And everything that he does in a sense of establishing a culture and work ethic, that a recovery day now becomes a high day because Taj wants the guys to work hard and they follow him. That's worth a couple of threes. Hell yeah, let's go. And this is us developing him because he's helping develop the whole program.
And there's a snapshot of how Cairns are going to play this season.
Welcome back to Kudos Bank Arena. It is a half-time. The Sydney Kings leading Adam Ford's Cairns Taipans by 1 point. Brad Rosen alongside me. Brad, what did you make of that first 20?
Well, I thought it was a good first quarter by the Sydney Kings, and then Cairns came out pretty much after that tech foul, and they were great. They were up to 20-9 leading that quarter, and I think they blew it a little bit. I really think they had a chance there to take that out to 10 and 15, but like the Kings have done, they've really stuck into it.
Looking at the Hungry Jacks halftime highlights here, the Kings, they're pushing the floor, but as a result, they've got a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, 13, and 4 of those is coming from the point guard in Derek Walton Jr. and 3 from that man, Xavier Cooks. That's unlike the Kings this year. They haven't been like that, but in saying that, the Kings, they look comfortable. DJ's been good. They're playing that basketball, and that's what they like to do. They want to get upbeat.
What about the Taipans? They came back in that second quarter. Keanu Pinder with 12 points, DJ Hogue with 7. Is he the key to this second half?
Yeah, he was great. He's got that beautiful high release. Look at that, and it's just such a beautiful shot. The key for me was when Cairns slow the Kings down, then they can play this, the half-court defense. Pound it into Keanu, and he does really well. With the Kings, well, they want to get upbeat like that.
From a Kings point of view, how do they push away here? How do they maximise this home crowd and make the most of this second half?
Well, it's really got to start from the defensive end. If they can get the stops that they're doing, I mean, look at the Cairns. They're shooting 38%, and that's gone up in the second quarter. So if they can get the stops and get out and run, and look, the three-point line for the Kings is not on tonight. Get the stops, run the floor, get some open layups, then the three ball will start to knock down.
No, exactly. DJ Vasiljevic, probably the only highlight from the three-point line. And here we are looking at DJ Hogue again. As you said, he's got such a physical presence. He can shoot the ball from the outside. How do they go about maximising the most of their team out there?
Well, they've got to look for the mismatch. You can see over here now he's got Derek Walton Jr. on him. He can't guard that when he's got that high release. So if they can get the defensive stops, take it down, look for some on-balls and get that mismatches, then he can do whatever he can do because he's really nice.
Well, there is 1 point in it. The Kings leading in front of their home fans here at Kudos Bank Arena. Still plenty more to come. The second half is after the break.
Hey fans, this season with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we are giving away a guaranteed $50,000. And like these NBL legends, Wortho and Gibbo, you can be a Latrobe Financial legend. All you need to do is send in a clip of you making a half-court shot for your chance to win a semifinals opportunity to shoot from half court for $50,000. All thanks to Latrobe Financial. Head to the NBL website now to enter.
Tough time at Kudos Bank Arena. There's the Sydney Kings banners that hang in the rafters, including the most recent of the lot. The reigning champions, undefeated to start NBL23. However, that second quarter was their lowest of the season, Leonard Copeland and Andrew Gase. 15 points on 4 of 12 with 7 turnovers.
Well, it's hard. That's the thing. When you cough the ball up, you just got less scoring opportunities. And I also think they've got to look at the balance of what they're doing. You look at DJ's come out and he's whacked up 11 shots, 4 of 11. Next highest is 4, and that's Noy. So clearly, you got to be able to get Walton a few more shots, only 1 of 3, and Justin Simon only 1 of 2. So the balance is a little skewed at the moment, and figure that out. That'll also help, I think, with the turnover count, because you're sharing the ball around, less anxiety out there. Everyone not so concerned about getting their own stuff off their own back.
Of course, but Cairns has done a good job defensively as well, slowing that ball down, making them run half-court plays rather than in transition shots. So
it's a welcome change from Monday. I think by their own admission, Cairns, they had a pretty rough night on Monday against Perth. Wildcats had 60 on the board at halftime in that game.
Yep, that's right. And the Wildcats really blanketed them from the three-point line. And they haven't been, after that flurry they had at the start, Cairns are 5 of 19 from the three-point line. So they've been almost 50% of their shots are coming from the three-point line. But they're not hitting them.
Perth and Melbourne coming up as soon as we finish up here. Big night here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Suarez, quick release 3. Sam Wardenberg pulls in his 4th rebound of the game to go with 7 points. Keanu Pinder, the leading scorer, with 12. DJ Vasiljevic, Sydney's leading scorer, with 11. Shot clock down to 2. Scott will have to turn and shoot. Walton Jr. and Vasiljevic, perhaps a little bit more conservative.
That's not like him.
Start this third quarter. This help deep from Wardenberg. Just changed things slightly for Xavier Cooks.
Cooks is another one, only with the 5 points, averaging 23 a game. He's 2 of 5 from the field. Talk about him not having to run plays for him. Well, there are times when you do have to run plays for him.
Foul call on the Kings and Tim Suarez. Free throws for DJ Hogue. Had a tough night on Monday. He wasn't alone there. 0 from 5 from outside. Prior to that, he'd been 7 of 18.
Well, that was they had a rough night, but I think on that one, you've got to give a lot of credit to the Wildcats. The Wildcats came out and they really cranked up the D, got their game going, was really efficient. Going to have those nights from time to time. Certainly saw that from the Adelaide 36ers last night.
Walton Jr. off balance. Does not matter. He might be the one to get a bit of spark about Sydney in this third quarter.
I've seen him do it. He's good. He's good enough.
Started the season red hot, averaging 20 points a game. Scott, the response for the Taipans.
Right back at you.
Have you seen Shannon Scott start to his NBL life, Copes?
I like him. He's good. He's stable. Less turnovers. We spoke about that earlier. And as good as McCall can be, and we've seen McCall play great over the last year or two, Shannon seems to be just a little bit more in control.
As a team, they've only had 8 turnovers in a half and a bit of basketball. They're averaging 16 and a half of them a game. Wardenberg showing what he can do from outside. Cairns enjoying a nice start to this third quarter. Vasiljevic from underneath.
He's just a flat-out scoring machine, isn't he?
He's not going to die wondering. He's going to be really aggressive.
That's for sure. But I like it. You got to have 1 or 2 of those guys on the team.
Well, he's got the skill sets that warrant it. Some players have the mindset, but not the skill set.
Pinder had his shot rejected by Suarez. Walton Jr. cutting through traffic. Doesn't get it to go. Oh, Hogue gave up his look. Qual in all sorts of trouble. It's a game of tunnel ball, and Sydney end up with it. Walton Jr. scores.
Well, was just not a well orchestrated play. Give him credit for the defense, the little deflection, and the effort to get on the floor. Here it is here. There's the deflection, and then bodies are flying around.
Jeez.
And everyone, oh gee, might have been a hint of a foul. And that's a good finish.
9 points for Walton Jr. on the Amy replay there. Kings lead by 1. Wardenberg tries his luck once more. And Scott stepping into the 3.
He's solid. He's solid.
But it is a game. It's coming off the second shot. And comes there, and the closeout's a little soft.
8 points now for Shannon Scott, including a couple of knockdowns from outside. Vasiljevic has 15. The next best after that is 9.
That's what I'd like to
his
see
turn.
I'd like to see him get going, because he can open up. He can open up a game.
Last season's Rookie of the Year, Bull Qual. Playing genuine starters minutes this season. Suarez got another one. That's 4.
He doesn't do it necessarily in a spectacular fashion where he's just, right up around the rim. It's just good hands, good timing.
He gets the job done, though.
Yeah, good read. Used his length really well.
Timeout called. 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter at Kudos Bank Arena. Let's get courtside to Joe Healy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm just lining up a quick chat with Sydney Kings owner Paul Smith, who joins me now and is no doubt enjoying seeing that banner up there, fresh from its unveiling last week. How proud are you of everything that you've achieved with the organisation?
I'm very proud of what we've achieved, but I know how far we've got to go and how much opportunity there is here.
I spoke to Chris Pongrass last week on the broadcast. He said he had about 24 hours of celebrations before he put his CEO cap back on and looked to this season. I'm told that you well and truly soaked it up. You even got yourself a permanent reminder in the form of a tattoo. Can you talk us through that?
Well, I did it because we had to do it, and I said to the guys at the celebration, I'm getting one, and I'll get one for everyone else if you get it where I get it. But I got it on the inside of the arm where it hurts a lot. They don't want to do it.
You've not had any takers?
Not yet.
You obviously had to retool in the off-season. You replaced all 3 imports. How has the transition been so smooth for you guys?
Oh, look, I think it's been pretty easy, really, relative to, because we knew early that we were going to be replacing them, so we sort of got to that mindset really quickly and got to the business of finding what we got in the lineup, and that's where we are today.
Well, this one's turning into a tough one. You've got another tough one against Adelaide next week too.
We have. Now, Joe, I don't know if you know, but I heard that Adelaide beat the Phoenix Suns. I don't know if you knew that. So anyway, they're coming here next week. We're that excited to have them here. Such a stacked squad coming into town. We feel like the Golden State Warriors are coming. Really, we do. So we're going to get a big crowd in here. We're going to roll out the red carpet for the G-Tote, the greatest team of all time. So we're looking forward to seeing those fellas when they get here to town. We're looking forward to it.
No pressure to CJ Bruton and the 36ers. Hey, thank you so much for the time, and we look forward to the rest of that, and then of course next week.
Thank you very much, Simon. Thank you.
I reckon he is the most passionate owner in the world. Not the league, in the world.
He'll never miss an opportunity, will he, Paul Smith?
No, that's for sure, and hopefully he wasn't trying to diminish what the Adelaide 36ers did over there, because it was extraordinary. And it's worth shouting from the rooftop what they did. And when all's said and done, though, CJ would trade that win over the Phoenix Suns for a win last night. And that trip back, it can knock you around a little bit.
But see Adelaide tomorrow night against Illawarra.
Now there's a score discrepancy. Yeah. So that's why we've had this delay. We weren't just holding it up for Paul Smith. He's a powerful man, and we want to hear what he's got to say. But that's not the reason why there was a hold up.
I think they gave him 2 on this shot, and it looks like
that looked like a 3, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's clearly a 3.
We're congratulating a lot of people. We should congratulate Daisy for coming back to work.
I agree.
He's been gone a long time.
Great. Just on the eve of the playoffs, it's good to have him back.
Someone's got to do it. Some heavy lifting over there.
Off collecting checks from all around the world.
Good folk there at Australian Made. Just trying to pump up our nation. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. You did all right out of it too.
I heard there were a couple of tears in your eyes over there.
Armagard travelled with him. Cairns now lead 49-52. The score that you can see on your screen is correct. Less than 5 minutes before three-quarter time. Bruce. Big 3. Ties it away at 52. Let's get to Brad Rosen.
Well, Chase Buford will be a lot happier after they hit that 3, but he was not happy in that timeout. He felt the guys are dropping their heads. They're not playing with energy. He said they've given up way too many 3s already this quarter. Stop dropping, get out, run, and do what they're doing here. Although that's a nice block.
That is good offensive transition, really testing the Cairns Taipans. And it's done with the pass. The long full-court pass, and that's an obvious one. Clear goaltending.
Have they seemed a little flat tonight, the Sydney Kings?
They are. And that can happen. I mean, great start to the season. Cairns are one of those teams where I wouldn't necessarily call them last year an easy beat, but it was one of those teams where you thought you'd probably get a win. But they're a different team this year.
Well, what they're doing really well is using the ball in the half court. They're getting it through some hands. They're slowing the tempo down because what they're doing on the offensive end. Most of the times they're into that last 8 seconds, not the first 16 seconds of when they're shooting the ball.
Qual starting to get busy now, has 7. And you can just hear it. They can sense they're in this game right now. They've taken it right up to the reigning champions. Ho comes up with it. Well, Scott in transition for 3. Not that time though, and a foul on Majuk Deng.
I think it might go against Suarez.
Nice.
You are correct for the hook.
Yeah. Majuk Deng was just competing on the boards, and Suarez. And here's a different look with the problems going on. He takes Suarez out and doesn't bring back Hunter, and it's a small lineup. And when you've got an elite rebounder like Xavier Cook's in there, it allows you to do it. But
That's a rookie mistake right there.
It's going to rely a lot on Quatnoy playing that position.
No, I'm looking at the pass.
Yeah, that's... Oh, yeah, unlucky. Came straight back off his head. But it's a small lineup, different look that you see from time to time.
Vasiljevic, Bruce, Cooks, Walton Jr. and Noy. Hogue, Air, Deng, Waterberg and Qual for Cairns. The Kings led by as much as 10 early stages of the second quarter. Vasiljevic now has 17.
He did that, made it look easy. It was actually a lot tougher than he made it look. Pull up for that mid-range, contested mid-range.
And the other DJ scores for Cairns. Vasiljevic ball on the floor, blue pass Deng and missed the layup. Gave up a golden opportunity. Ben Air decides to explore. Walton Jr. to Cooks in transition for 2.
Well, they make you pay.
And that's what they're missing. The early transition baskets.
So Cooks a little quiet tonight, only 7 points. He go with his 4 rebounds.
Trouble.
Cooks kicks it back out. Walton Jr. foul on the floor. And a bit of feeling between both teams. Ben Air certainly won't be taking a backward step.
No, sir. No, sir.
Well, here we see it. There's the foul. And what he's doing there is just making sure that he doesn't get it up, because the official, all of a sudden that goes in and they go, oh, and one. Well, he was just making sure. And that they took that out of the equation completely. Nothing wrong with that. It wasn't overly punishing, hurtful.
Well, I am saying that.
Sitting on the sidelines, I'd love to see it.
Thanks, Ryan. Side ball.
Also waiting for the Kings.
Walton Jr. comes out.
Here we go.
Perhaps a bit of frustration for Sydney as well.
It's been solid, the 9 points. He's also got the 5 assists and 7 boards, so June is doing very solid without necessarily lighting it up on the offensive end, with his scoring, that is.
Number 2 in the competition for assist druids, Derek Walton Jr. 7.5 of them a game, and only averaging 2 turnovers, so efficient. Wardenberg, nice drive.
It's a great drive. These guys have come to play.
Well, it is, and what we've seen early on is how they've been able to protect the paint. Driving lanes are starting to open up for Cairns a little.
Loose off the front of the iron. There's Sam Wardenberg, the 3rd Taipan into double figures. They're looking for a 2-for-1. Air got the 3 ball.
Well, he chased Buford, although things are going against him. He wants to play quick against the Cairns Taipans.
2-1.
Even on the main baskets.
And 4 fouls on one bird.
You're right. But here it is. You see, just trying to take away the driving lane, and you leave that corner open. And this is what I talk about. Great screen by Deng. Majuk Deng just sealed his man, and the penetration opened up that lane. Some good quality possessions by the Cairns Taipans. And this is an area where he needs to work on. 47% before the start of this one from the free throw line, because he's going to get there a lot. What is it, Jack? I think it's about 7 a game so far, early on. So he's leaving a lot on the table for himself and the Sydney Kings.
Sydney led it by 6 at quarter time. Cairns are going to take a lead into three-quarter time. It's just a question of how big that lead is. Hogue wide open. Good look. And Cooks is up the floor quickly. Vasiljevic for two. No good. The Taipans in front, 61-59 at three-quarter time at Kudos Bank Arena. And as soon as we finish up here, we head to the west. The Perth Wildcats are another team who have made a blistering start to NBL23 up against a Melbourne United outfit who will be desperate to bounce back after last week's drubbing. The Wildcats and United, 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time from RAC Arena. A beautiful Friday night in the Harbour City, and the Sydney Kings find themselves in unfamiliar territory at three-quarter time. It's the first time that they are trailing with a quarter remaining. The Cairns Taipans have won the last two quarters and have gone from 6 down at quarter time to 2 up, with the last quarter about to get underway. Leonard Copeland and Andrew Gaze. It's been a pretty polished performance from the Taipans.
It is, and I like the fact that they're so evenly matched. You got 4 or 5 guys, particularly in double figures. They're spreading the ball around. They're playing team basketball.
Well, these are the types of opportunities, the second shots they're creating, and they've been scrappy on the defensive end. That's a charge.
Straightforward call for the official. Joe Healy courtside.
Yeah, no surprises, guys. The Taipans are really up and about there at three-quarter time, leading the Kings by 2, of course. Adam Ford looking to both Shannon Scott and DJ Hogue, his 2 import stars, to continue leading the team on the court and create opportunities here in the fourth.
Well, there is Hogue on cue, Joe.
It is, and they send the double team, and Bales didn't handle it well. And coming back into it after some injury issues and perhaps a little off pace, and Hogue's just reads it well, sees the situation, and runs the double team and comes up with a steal, and easy couple of 2 from the free throw line.
He played at Texas A&M.
That's right. Dignac, the great legendary Darryl McDonald, I think, spent some time at Texas A&M. Interesting place to play. They got a live dog howling the whole game on the sideline.
The what?
A dog.
What? feel like that's going to need some further explanation.
I know. I'm waiting to get
It's their mascot. It's their mascot, and they sit on the sideline, just howls the entire game.
Trouble called on Pinder.
Such an NBA move, isn't it? Such an NBA move.
And you know what? He's the one that makes it tough on that particular call, because you can call that a lot, and a lot of the times it goes unwhistled. Now, it might be a travel, but it's one of those, just a sliding of that pivot foot, or it's not a huge one compared to some of the ones that we've already seen they haven't called.
DJ is having a night.
Well, he's a volume shooter. He's up to 18 field goal attempts, 8 of 18. He's still got the bulk of the fourth to play.
Remind you, somebody gave.
Well, he's only at 44%. That's certainly some differences when I've seen him players in the past. This is nice. You've got to close out hard and just use his timing. Footwork's excellent.
He has 20 points, the next best in the game. 3 Taipans with 12. Sydney's next best after that is Derek Walton Jr. with 9. Pinder reaching in. That basket won't count.
I tell you what you do notice, though, and I think Coach hit the nail on the head, and this is not, it's going to sound poor against McCall, but tonight, without McCall being there, they have looked a lot more composed. They've been a bit more organised on the offensive end, and this team needs McCall at his absolute very best, and as they're going through this early stages, that still trying to figure out how to get everyone on the same page, but in this one, in isolation, they haven't missed him too much.
Hooks up top. 6 of 10 for the season from outside, Xavier Cooks. Sydney take the lead back once more, but only for a second.
He's solid. He's solid.
He's good. Why not?
That's out of play. Shot it at 30% last season from outside Xavier Cooks. He's above 50% this year.
You love to see that when the new season starts, and you know there's a long way to go, and it is only a small sample size that we've seen so far, but you can tell that clearly he's put the work in the off-season and continues to work on a game. You just need to tidy up what he does from the free throw line. And oh dear,
I like him. I like him a lot.
He's been upgraded from solid, has he, Coach? It sounds like it. Shannon Scott now has 14 points and 4 made trebles. Qualt strips Cooks of it.
No.
Ding misses from underneath. Neuer, risky pass cross court. Walton Jr.'s got it on a string.
that was nice. That's just reading the play, being composed under pressure. The little tap to himself, knows where all his teammates are. Dear, didn't look like a lot in that. Maybe a little contact below.
68-65. We've got a big one Friday night at Kudos Bank Arena.
Coach's challenge underway.
So we've got a coach's challenge underway.
40 don't mind using them, does he?
Well, he got the first one right.
He gets his money's worth.
It'd be interesting, Copes. At first glance, we'll have a look at the replay. They might have a case.
The jury spoke about it. He looked like he went straight up.
It did. Well, he went by him. Let's have a look here. Goes up. And he's going by him, and who initiates the contact? So to me, that's going to be a successful challenge. Oh, it's unsuccessful. Oh, well.
Nothing changes, Gazy. Still wrong.
No, I'm 1 for 1 then. 1 for 1 in the evening. 1 for 1 on the season.
1 for 2 more.
Welcome to it. Friday night.
Taipans lead by 3. So coach's challenge. Adam Ford wanting to take another look at the decision originally for the foul on DJ Hogue.
The foul will stand.
The foul will stand. He's been unsuccessful.
Worth a look. Certainly worth a look. But here it is. And this is one that, to me, that's a no call.
No.
I don't get that opportunity.
You can, hey.
Oh, you don't want me to. You don't want me
I'm all
to.
ears.
Moy goes 1 of 2. Let's go back to the McCall conversation. He's going to be missing for 3 weeks with a hip injury. What does it look like when he gets back?
Well, it's about trying to utilise his skills so that fits into, and it doesn't take away from what these guys are doing. Turnovers were an issue for him, and just try and make sure that he finds the balance. As an offensive foul, that to me had a bit of a stench of flopping, but it's always hard, Coach. Let's have a look. I think it's a strong odour more than a stench.
Do you think we need a bit of Rexona, Drew?
Because he's basically stopped, and the defence is flopped.
Kings trail by 2. Walton Jr. spots up. Has not been able to get himself going. 3 of 7 tonight.
And it seems like Cairns are doubling that high on-ball screen, which other teams have not done, which now puts pressure on them.
They go back down the Pinder. He has 12. Hogue with his feet set. It's good.
And they're dancing. And they're dancing.
Well, every right to be. This right really has to be the blueprint. Now, clearly you've got to shoot and make shots, and they've been able to do that reasonably well. But it's this end. It's the scrappiness, the switching, the keeping them out of the paint, the pressure. A little bit of the
double
Tasmania jack jumpers about the way they're going about it on the defensive end.
Here's the Amy replay. DJ Hogue with a foot on the Bunnings logo.
Wow, that's deep. That's a beautiful stroke.
A little jig. Steal some of those moves, man. Getting over here.
4.7 on the clock for Sydney. This is a good look for Vasiljevic.
That was always going up.
Getting on Sydney. Defense.
Scott. He can't make it happen, and Hogue will be called for the foul. That's his 3rd. Cairns again, teetering very close to that limit. Sam Wardenberg back into the game, and he's got 4 of his own.
That's clearly a foul.
So Wardenberg with 4, Hogue, Pinder, and Ben Air all with 3 for Cairns.
It's in your app.
It is, and this is going to send the Kings, and for the remainder of the quarter, the Kings to the line for free throws. And that's when you're playing that scrappy up and in and really testing the limits of the officials and what you're doing on the defensive end. This is now where it becomes a bit more of a decision. You're coming down the stretch, you've got a little bit of a margin, and these are just easy, cheap baskets. Now,
But they haven't been great, though. They haven't been great, Drew, at that free throw line.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. I guess you've got to pick your poison. Walton's not one you want to send there.
Shooting at 70% for the season. Small sample size. Round 3 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. The undefeated Sydney Kings up against the 2-1 Taipans.
Holding.
I got you.
It'll be Suarez's 4th foul.
That's the 2nd time he's been caught trying to box out. The intent of what he was trying to do, but it's just too much hands, I guess. Here we said, well, you can't really, there you see clearly. Suarez just holding Pinder. And
that happens when you're leading the league in rebounds. You do whatever you can to keep him off that glass.
Qual off the inbound. 3-point attempt, number 38 for the game for Cairns.
Wow. They only had 69 field goal attempts, 38 of them from the three-point line.
Walton Jr. steps up on cue.
We saw this in game one against Illawarra. Let's the troops have their fun, and when the game's on the line, it's time now to take over and just sort things out.
Scores tied away at 71. Pinder had a nice seal on Cooks down low. Good finish.
That is just tough.
Deep. Great finish, but good recognition. Get the ball into him in the preferred spot.
Gives Cairns the lead back, and Sydney give Cairns the ball back. Qual back to the basket, guarded by Glover. That little fall away doesn't go. In fact, it does trickle in.
These boys are playing, Joey.
Well, they are. Even the coach has got a bit of skipping going on. Wow, and why wouldn't it be? Still a long way to go on this one. Plenty of time for the Sydney Kings, but it's just looks a little bit more easier on the offensive end for the Cairns Taipans right now than it does the Sydney Kings.
Back-to-back baskets for the Taipans. First Pinder, and then Qual getting busy at the other end. Cairns are making their move with bang-on 4 minutes remaining in this game. Let's head into the Sydney Kings huddle with Chase Buford.
Keep grinding all the way to the end. We're right there. First possession. I want to do a loop fist out. So loop Justin up. Derek, bring down, hit Just. TJ, you're flying up into a fist out on Justin. You're just getting it going. TJ, you're slipping underneath, getting out. As Justin gets downhill, X, you set the hammer for Derek and roll. Love, you stay space. Fellas, we're okay. We're right there. We got a lot of time. Keep grinding, keep playing together. Let's go. Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3. Defense.
Coach Buford just trying to reassure his troops, because you don't want panic to set in and you start taking wild shot. Just trying to reassure his guys that there is plenty of time. Keep executing your way through it. And you don't need anything special right now. You just got to be efficient and obviously tidy a few things up on the defensive end.
Just continue to do what they're doing.
50,000 interest, either of you two?
My word, it does.
You keep looking at that thing. You're licking your lips too, Joey.
It's giving him flashbacks to his recent trip. Simon doesn't get it to go.
Well, Simon's really been not much of a factor. Only 1 of 3, 4 points, and
a Hogue, little two-man game with Pinder. Clinical offense, Cairns.
It's been amazing. 16 points and 10 rebounds.
6-point lead. It's their biggest of the game right now. Cooks takes it at Pinder up the other end.
And that's a smart foul.
It is.
That's Pinder's fourth.
The foul is on the Taipans number 25. Keanu Pinder is fourth.
Here it is there, just the sacrificial foul. They know, they've done the scouting report. They know that Cooks has had some dramas from the free throw line. And that's just a simple middle pick and roll. And it's a little soft by the Sydney Kings. They do nothing to take away the ball carrier and nothing on the roll. And the foul becomes worthwhile. Misses the first.
That is a problem for Sydney and a problem for Xavier Cooks.
Not just in this game.
No, that's right.
Remember that. Other teams are watching.
13 of 21. Copes, you spoke about this last Friday night for Sydney in their win over Brisbane. Hogue trying to get Pinder involved that time. It was knocked away.
Great pickup. DJ, he's looking to let one fly.
This is going up.
See, they're standing around though. There's 5 guys just standing around. Pass, it's all individual. And Suarez.
Oh. 25. Is that 5 on Pinder?
25, hands, over the back.
I don't know about that.
Adam Ford doesn't have a coach's challenge left, so Keanu Pinder, let's take a look.
Well, maybe it was on the rebound.
They're saying it was over the back.
So that one they didn't call, and it's that one they called.
He was pushed in the back, though.
Yeah. Originally, I thought it was for the reach-in.
No, they let that go through.
But it was on the rebound, and he was sandwiched.
His night is done. Finishes with 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists.
They're going to miss it, and they're going to miss his aggressiveness on the boards, his aggressiveness defensively, his leadership.
13 of 22.
Wow.
Suarez makes the second, just on Keanu Pinder. Back-to-back double-doubles for the second time in his career. He's playing some good basketball.
And we've spoken about him all night.
This is where they need you. This is where you gotta get loud.
Well done, young man. Good night's work.
Defense!
2.5 minutes remaining. Cairns have barely put a foot wrong since quarter time.
They got to get a good shot every time down the floor here. Don't give Sydney an opportunity to run out and get an easy basket here.
Qual drives, lost the ball. And Cooks to the other end. Gets it to drop. 3-point game. Ball in the hands of the right man for the Taipans. Shannon Scott. That's what he's here to do, make good decisions down the stretch.
He's tough.
It is, and he read it well. Again on the on-ball, he's come off, he's able to get in deep. As can Xavier Cooks. Two can get some stops right now.
Fouling Xavier every time he goes to the basket. Why not? Seems in line.
Spot on.
Majuk Deng back into the game. That doesn't drop. Shannon Scott's got a problem as well.
A real problem.
Majuk Deng had to foul.
Looks like a calf. Let's have a look.
Hey, Sydney. Put your hands together for Shannon Scott, will you? That's what we do here.
It might have been on that push-up. Let's push off. Let's hope it's just cramp. Because that's a worry.
Tajir McCall.
Oh no.
Already not playing tonight.
Pickle juice.
The fact that they're now trying to extend it out would suggest that it's only a cramp. Now, cramps can be very painful. Let's make no mistake about it. But hopefully there's no long-term issues. But there will be long-term problems if the Sydney Kings cannot rectify the free throw situation.
I was waiting for you to say that. That is shocking. This is shocking from the Sydney Kings at the free throw line. Not just for this game, Jack, because other teams are going to send these guys to the line.
14 of 25 from the charity stripe. A minute to play, it might come back to bite them.
Get a good shot, get a good shot here. Get a good shot here.
Deng, got it! Shot clock ticking down in the background. Majuk Deng with a dagger. Glover, no good up the other end.
Get it over, get it over. Get it over.
Oh, just got it over. Beat it by a second.
6-point lead. 30 seconds remaining.
Get a good shot. Shoot it.
Deng with a fall away. There's still a pulse for the Kings. Quick bucket needed straight away. Now Sydney have to play the foul game. The Taipans are in the box seat.
There's been too much of this for me for the Sydney Kings.
Individual play.
Well, and just the wanting the fouls, looking at the officials, and just now the coaches, okay, we can have our views on how they try and work the officials, but there was no foul there. DJ just going into the traffic and trying to get bailed out. Got no reason to complain there.
And I think the coach even mentioned that early in the second quarter. He told those guys, leave the referees alone and just play basketball. Sometimes you can't get caught up in worrying about what they're doing and not what you're doing.
Here's a big, big three. And he did this a couple of seasons ago when it's been a long time. The one win that Cairns had in Sydney were 2 seasons ago. Majuk Ding had similar type buckets, and he did it with a big one, and he just missed one, but still had the confidence to come back and with that one, which was a genuine dagger, that 3 ball, and 13 of 40 from the 3-point line. 32%.
Wouldn't you love to be playing on this team?
Well, they had 76 field goal attempts, 40 of them from the 3-point line, so more than half their shots from there. And Hogue with 2 of 10. You know, he's a better shooter than that, so they've got some that they normally expect to make, and Majuk Dang before that one was 0 of 6. He's now 1 of 7. But this has been with a very short, tight rotation of the Cairns Taipans. They're going to come away with a huge win.
We haven't seen Mirko Jeric, Lat Mayen or Josh Davey tonight.
Purple, hold.
A reminder, early in the second quarter, when the score was 31-21, it was a 10-point lead to Sydney, and they looked as if they were about to explode. Cairns just didn't give up.
Well, that's right, and Cairns became pesky. They're out there, they're making it hard for them on the defensive end, a lot of hands, a lot of... That's 5-second violation. Oh, no.
You're right. 25. They were aggressive on the defensive end, but they were smart on the offensive end. I keep saying that.
Well, they were smart in the sense that they used the offense to really control the tempo of the game. They weren't coming down there unnecessarily blazing away early. They went through their actions and really started to get aggressive in that last 8 seconds rather than that first 8 seconds. And as such, it took away some of the strengths of the Sydney Kings.
Adam Ford's going to take his team to 3-1. All 3 of their wins have been on the road.
That's fantastic. And they copped a bit of a pantsing at home.
No foul, no foul.
Glover with a late bucket. Cairns just need to safely deposit this ball back in. And this is a big, big win for this young Cairns team. They defeat the reigning champions on their home floor, 83-78. Keep your eye on the Snakes.
Well, for sure. It's impressive. And a little extra something for Adam Ford. We know he spent that season with the Sydney Kings, and coming in and doing it back where you used to coach, it's always a little extra spice for you, and they earned this one.
It's more than spice. You go back to a place where you played, and you coached, and you beat them, and they're the reigning champs.
They did it well.
He's going to sleep well tonight.
He sure will. That's a big, big win.
Hey, you know what it does? It's yet another indication. Yeah, good on you, 40. It's another indication.
Shaka's to you too.
No, that of the parity that exists in the NBL and the uncertainty of outcome in every game that you tune into. So it's a beautiful thing. Hopefully there's some injury concerns out there for Cairns, but let's hope that they're not too serious.
Let's get to Joe Healy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I've got the Foot Locker player of the game, Shannon Scott, with me. Shannon, 16, 6 and 5 in the end, 4 steals as well, plus the win after that loss against the Wildcats. Can you sum up the performance?
Oh, man, yeah, we bounced back. We watched the film of the last game. We were very disappointed in how we played. We wanted to make sure we never went out and played like that again. So, I mean, all the guys were locked in. Wish we had Taj out here. I mean, I know he's watching us right now. Shout out to him, but happy to get a win out here.
I was going to ask you about the absence of the gaffer. You stepped up, DJ was great, Keanu was great. How did you do that?
Our team is so deep. I mean, honestly, we have so many guys that are ready, and we got even more guys ready on the bench. So, I mean, as long as we stay ready to play, we're going to be all right.
You hobbled off at the end there, just a bit of cramp?
Yeah, just a cramp. I'm all good, though.
Enjoy the win.
The Taipans get the job done. We're back to wrap it up on the other side of this. They win it by 5. You're watching the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Welcome back to the Hungry Jacks NBL. It is Cairns 83-78 winners over the Sydney Kings. Brad Rosen alongside me. Boy, did they dig deep.
They did, and they deserved that win. Cairns, I thought they were outstanding. They, knocked down the threes in the second half there that they needed to knock down. I thought their imports was great, and they had 5 guys in double figures. That's sharing the ball.
The Foot Locker player of the game, Shannon Scott, he stepped up in the absence of Tajir McCall tonight, didn't he?
Well, you asked me at the beginning of the game who's got to do it, and that was the man, and he did that, and he did it great as well. He was just so composed. I was listening to Coates in the commentary there, and he just says, I like him, and I agree. He's just so calm. Look at him. He never really got out of that different gear. It was always just, I've got this, coming off on balls like this, stepping up, hitting the three. He was great.
A small blip for the Kings, but you get the feeling they'll bounce back.
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed because, you look at that, there's Shannon Scott's stats, which are outstanding, but talking of the Kings, I think they'll be disappointed. Like, they had an opportunity there to win the game.
Well, great to be with you here for the Hungry Jacks NBL. Don't go too far, though. We've got another huge game coming up. The Perth Wildcats hosting Melbourne United. You don't want to miss it.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.